Tonight, parts of Fort McMurray evacuated after a wildfire burns closer.
We're seeing extreme fire behavior.
Thousands ordered out as winds pick up, fears high after the devastating fire 8 years ago. And later, the race to contain this early and intense fire season.
Not gonna lie, it's nervous.
Protecting communities by setting fires. We're on the front lines in the breakdown. Remembering a Canadian literary icon.
I think she's a writer that's going to be read 100 years from now.
A master of the short story, a Nobel Prize-winning author. The legacy of Alice Munro. And an out-of-this-world find in rural Saskatchewan.
I'm not a space junkie or anything like that. This is just what we found.
The big, heavy space debris researchers say is falling from the sky too often.
From CBC News, this is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thanks for joining us. An urgent evacuation is underway tonight in northern Alberta. Thousands of people ordered out of their homes in Fort McMurray as a wildfire burns dangerously close. The people in this community all too familiar with the scenes unfolding before them. You've got heavy smoke, an orange haze, and a very crowded highway. The fire is burning southwest of Fort McMurray. 6,000 people given just hours to leave their homes in 4 neighborhoods. Some of the same neighborhoods destroyed by wildfire in 2016. Now, shifting winds and rising temperatures are pushing the flames closer to Fort McMurray. Terry Reith shows us the rush to get out.
There was a string of taillights heading south out of Fort McMurray. 6,000 people from 4 neighborhoods ordered to leave as a wildfire races towards the city.
We're seeing extreme fire behavior. Smoke columns are developing and the skies are covered in smoke. Firefighters have been pulled from the fire line for safety reasons.
It is a scene eerily reminiscent of 8 years ago when a wildfire devastated Fort McMurray, destroying 2,400 homes and businesses.
This event right now brings back a lot of trauma to a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
Fueled by heavy winds, the 2016 fire first hit the very neighborhoods now under mandatory evacuation. But there are differences, says the fire chief.
Well, as a community, we're far more prepared.
After the devastation of 2016, Fort McMurray began removing trees and fuel around the edges of the city, building buffer zones to keep the flames away. Also, this fire is following a similar path, much of it already burned, so it's not as hot or fierce.
It's not the big crown fire that we had experienced in 16. What it is, it's a surface fire, and it's running along the surface in these extreme, conditions.
Still, the rest of the city remains under an evacuation alert and must be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Stephanie Burt and her family are packed and ready.
And when we seen the sky, and it was very orange, and it was just terrifying. It looked like something out of a horror movie. That was the moment for me where I really started to feel uneasy.
For now, the path of the fire depends entirely on which way the wind blows. Terry Reith, CBC News, Edmonton.
Now, in British Columbia, crews have managed to keep a fire at bay, one that's been burning right outside the northeastern community of Fort Nelson. The winds not as strong as feared, but the next few days are critical. An anxious wait for the 4,700 people evacuated. Michelle Gassoub now with how they're coping.
Fort St. John is bursting at the seams. Over 1,400 evacuees from Fort Nelson are sheltering here.
Everybody wants a hug all the time, so it's good, but still unnerving.
This arena turned evacuation center has become a place of reunions.
When I see the kids and stuff, my heart's just relieved because you're like, are they okay? It's a big deal to us.
But also a scene of frustration. Hotels are full, and those seeking shelter here are being told to head elsewhere.
It's definitely frustrating for a lot of these people in line who have been kicked out of their hotels. It's become a first come, first serve.
Of the 4,700 people ordered to evacuate Fort Nelson, around 50 have stayed behind, including the mayor.
Helicopters will be bucketing out to the hot spots, and as long as the wind doesn't come up from the west, it won't blow any closer to the town.
Others post daily live streams of what they're seeing behind evacuation lines.
We are getting some water on our windows. We cruise, so that's a good sign.
The fire grew from 53 square kilometers Monday to 84 on Tuesday and is now burning 1.5 kilometers from town. The mayor says some structures outside of town have been lost, but the catastrophic conditions officials warned of didn't materialize.
They figured by 6:30 there might not have been a Fort Nelson anymore. I'm hoping it's supposed to rain the next 3 days. I'm really hoping we get the rain.
Some here wish they could make the drive north to protect what they can.
I said I'd work for free, I just said, so, but they won't let you come back, so what do?
Taking in the livestock, taking in people, offering your guys' homes, and just being there to support the community. Fort St. John has always been #1 for that.
In a city with little to do but wait and worry, evacuees watch the wind.
And Michelle, it's pretty clear how gusty the wind is. Also, that there's more than just one fire in the area. So what do we know about the second fire that forced evacuations last night?
Yeah, that's a fire burning near the Doig River First Nation. That's around 40 kilometers northeast of here, so much closer to Fort St. John than the fire currently threatening Fort Nelson, and that forced the evacuation of that entire community last night. So what we're hearing from people is they've already had to flee their homes, but they fear that they could be on the move again. Adrian?
All right, Michelle Gassoub reporting in Fort St. John, BC tonight. Thanks, Michelle. There are also fires affecting communities in the Northwest Territories and Manitoba. Premier Wab Kinew got a first-hand look at a massive wildfire in the northwest part of that province.
It's a very dramatic, serious situation.
Kinew saw the fire from a helicopter. That fire started near Flin Flon late last week and moved at shocking speed. It's just over a kilometer from Cranberry Portage, forcing hundreds of people out of their homes. Ontario firefighters are now in Manitoba to help. Turning now to other news, and the literary world and beyond is mourning the loss of a Canadian legend. Writer Alice Munro has died at the age of 92. Considered a master of the short story, Munro drew in readers across countries and generations with her nuanced and yet precise storytelling. She won some of the world's most prestigious awards, including the Nobel Prize in 2013. The Prime Minister tonight calling Alice Munro one of the world's greatest storytellers. Kayla Hounsell has more on her life and her lasting impact.
Someone, the person crying out, kill me now, is being beaten.
Alice Munro was rarely seen in public, but when she was, those around her were captivated.
I choose often to write about people who have fairly sort of middling occupations.
Her books may have been about ordinary people, but her words and the characters she created were extraordinary.
She took that material of the familiar and she made it unfamiliar and fascinating.
The 92-year-old died at home in Port Hope, Ontario, Monday evening. She is often credited with making short stories a serious literary form.
I often thought I'd be doing better if I wrote novels, and then I discovered that I couldn't.
Munro's friend and longtime publisher says she was struggling to write a novel when they met in 1974.
I'm a publisher, and if you go on writing short stories to the end of your life, I will go on publishing them. And I was proud that I was able to keep that promise until today.
Her stories were often set where she grew up in small-town Ontario, featuring the lives of girls and women, but she represented Canada on the world stage.
The Nobel Prize in Literature for 2013 is awarded the Canadian author Alice Munro.
She was one of only a few women to win the famed literary prize.
To get the prize? Yes, it's quite amazing.
Her work inspired that of countless other Canadians.
Just before 6 o'clock in the evening, George...
This Nova Scotian short story writer loves her work so much he created a reading group called the Munrovians.
I think she's a writer that's going to be read that I hope is read in 100 years from now.
She couldn't stop writing, even when she tried.
I absolutely said that I wasn't going to write anymore, and I meant it. And why did I say that? It was just that I thought it was time. It was time to make a dignified withdrawal rather than to be booted off the stage or hauled off.
Her readers wouldn't think of it, always hoping for just one more story. Now resigned to cherish her words, to honor her memory. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
In New York, it was a fiery day at Donald Trump's hush money trial. The prosecution's key witness, Michael Cohen, was back on the stand and grilled by Trump's defense team. Chris Glover takes us through what happened.
Michael, did you get some sleep last night?
Michael Cohen's second day of testimony was, for prosecutors, about building his credibility up before the defense could tear him down.
If they can establish that Michael Cohen is lying, then it's kind of like a domino effect where everything else kind of flows from that, starts becoming questionable.
Prosecutors need Cohen to link Trump to the alleged scheme of falsifying business records, to conceal reimbursements to Cohen, who paid Stormy Daniels to stay quiet about an alleged affair that could have damaged Trump's presidential campaign. The jury saw monthly invoices for legal services Cohen testified were fake, and checks to Cohen signed by Trump. Were any of those checks, in fact, for work during the months described, the prosecution asked? No, ma'am, Cohen replied.
You had a very mild-mannered, cooperative, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am type of witness, which is not the person that he is.
Anticipating attacks, the prosecution leaned in first, getting Cohen to acknowledge his checkered past, including serving jail time for perjury. Cohen testified he repeatedly lied out of loyalty and in order to protect Trump. Outside court, Republican allies laid the groundwork for Trump's defense team.
This is a man who is clearly on a mission for personal revenge.
Inside, the defense portraying Cohen as a money-hungry liar who called Trump a Cheeto-dusted cartoon villain.
Definitely reminding he's a convicted felon, also reminding that he's always looking for an easier way out.
Cohen admitted his 2 books about Trump grossed $3.4 million, and he disparaged Trump all over the place, from his merchandise to his TikTok lives 6 nights a week, all while Trump is under a gag order.
You ask me questions, I'm not allowed to respond.
So, Chris, as I understand it, this gag order continues to bar Trump from talking about witnesses like Cohen.
Absolutely, it does. And a request to have that gag order overturned was rejected today. So Trump can't talk about witnesses with his daily conversations with reporters, but he would be allowed to take the stand and testify himself. He's been asked repeatedly whether or not he'll do that, and he has said everything from absolutely to only if necessary. So it'll be important to see once Cohen is done, likely by the end of day on Thursday, whether former President Trump becomes witness Trump.
All right, Chris Glover in New York. A Saskatchewan man is facing 60 new charges related to sex crimes against children. The 47-year-old man had a licensed daycare in his home.
The magnitude of this investigation has proven significant. Investigators have analyzed over 1.5 million pieces of digital evidence.
Richard Dyke was initially arrested last year over allegations involving 3 boys under 12. Now 29 additional victims have been identified, ranging in age from 18 months to 17 years old. The charges include 14 counts of sexual assault. A major investment in electric vehicles was announced today in southern Ontario. A new $1.6 billion battery plant.
It's going to strengthen our homegrown electric vehicle supply chain and help ensure that all the components needed for the cars of the future are made in Ontario.
The new plant in Port Colborne, Ontario, will be Canada's first lithium-ion separator facility, a key EV battery component. Led by a Japanese company, it's part of Honda Canada's broader plan to establish a Canadian electric vehicle supply chain. The plant is expected to be operational in 2027. Meanwhile, in the United States, President Joe Biden is making a move to keep Chinese-made electric vehicles out. Today, he slapped major new tariffs on Chinese-made goods. And as Katie Simpson shows us, the move is also very political.
Meet the Seagull. It's small, electric, relatively cheap, and manufactured in China, which makes it a significant threat for President Joe Biden, who is trying to prevent Chinese products from flooding the U.S. market and pushing out American-built EVs.
I'm determined that the future of electric vehicles will be made in America by union workers, period.
And so, to help U.S. manufacturers, Biden is making imports more expensive with a new 100% tariff on Chinese-made EVs. There are also new tariffs on Chinese steel, aluminum, batteries, and solar panels. It's a reversal for Biden, who criticized similar tariffs imposed by his predecessor, Donald Trump. He says Biden should have done this years ago.
Because China's eating our lunch right now.
Built the middle class.
As much as this is about policy, it's also election politics, as Biden tries to appeal to auto workers and manufacturers in critical swing states.
Especially geared to the Midwestern states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, that the must-have states for Biden.
Canadian EV builders could also see a tariff ripple effect.
There's some benefit to what the Americans have done here is if they're going to hold out our major competition, Canadian exports into the U.S. market are going to be much more favorable.
The Prime Minister is trying to position Canada as an ally, ready to fill any manufacturing gaps, as he unveiled another new EV supply chain plant.
So we are being very, very strong with a solid offense on creating the resiliency and the support that the world's economy is going to need from a reliable, friendly partner like Canada.
The Prime Minister did not say whether Canada will impose similar tariffs on China. Industry experts warn he could risk hurting the Canada-U.S. relationship if he doesn't follow suit. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
There's a new move by the Ontario government to try to crack down on auto thefts. It wants to suspend the driver's licenses of those convicted of the crime.
This will have no mercy on criminals who think it's okay to steal a vehicle, because it's not.
Under the proposed legislation, anyone convicted of vehicle theft under the criminal code could face a 10-year license suspension for the first offense, up to a lifetime suspension for the third offense. The province says a vehicle is stolen in Ontario every 14 minutes. U.S. federal investigators have released a preliminary report into that Baltimore bridge collapse back in March. The cargo ship, which caused the collapse, had its electrical breakers unexpectedly trip minutes before the crash. All lighting and steering pumps on board died. 6 people were killed in the incident. A power outage also happened the day before during in-port maintenance. A separate criminal investigation is ongoing. Humanitarian groups are sounding the alarm again about the lack of desperately needed aid making it into Gaza.
Prices here are so expensive, people can't get enough food.
The accusations that aid workers are being targeted. Next. Plus celestial debris on a Saskatchewan farm.
I'm not a space junkie or anything like that. This is just what we found.
Growing concerns about what is falling from our skies. And later, the fight to get ahead of the flames.
We have to learn from our mistakes.
Protecting communities today with some wisdom from the past. We're back in 2. Well, that is a look at the chaos inside Georgia's parliament after lawmakers passed a controversial foreign agents bill into law. Outside, protesters and police clashed. Critics say the bill could be used to threaten civil liberties, arguing it's reminiscent of a Russian law used to target critics of President Vladimir Putin. In the Middle East, desperately needed aid into Gaza has slowed to a trickle. Chris Brown is in Jerusalem and shows us the blocked border crossing that has humanitarian groups warning of a mass disaster.
Gaza is being strangled. There's hardly any food, water, or shelter after a week when most aid trucks were blocked from delivering their supplies when Israel captured a key border crossing. Hamdi Abu Raida and his family are back in the rubble of Han Yunis after they had initially fled to Rafah.
Prices here so expensive, people can't get enough food. There is no good meal.
He fears what will happen when the supplies his family brought with them are exhausted.
I have messaged to all the world from humanity side, also from Muslim side, that we are human, we are like you.
Israel and Egypt are blaming each other for the aid crisis. Israel says Egypt could reopen the crossing in Rafah, but won't, while Egypt says it's Israel's attack on the city that's preventing aid trucks from getting through. But other assistance for Gaza is also being blocked en route by Israeli protesters. On Monday, a group attacked a convoy traveling through the West Bank. We're afraid of approaching the checkpoint because of the rioting of the settlers, said one fearful Palestinian driver. The U.S., Britain, and others are demanding Israel protect the convoys. Israel said some trucks managed to enter Gaza through a northern crossing, but that's just a fraction of the hundreds of deliveries needed every day.
We have never faced a situation like this.
Lauren Ravone of Oxfam Canada says the aid blockage and the immense number of people displaced from Rafah, 450,000 and counting, have created staggering challenges.
Aid workers are literally being targeted, and they're also on the move, on the run with the people they're serving. So, Oxfam builds latrines, the hand washing stations. Now we're having to build them so that they can be folded up, carried, and then reinstalled elsewhere.
Israel will soon be back in court again over Gaza as the UN's International Court of Justice holds more hearings later this week. It could issue more emergency orders for Israel to alleviate the aid situation. Chris Brown, CBC News, Jerusalem.
A Saskatchewan man is talking tonight about a strange discovery he made on his property.
Don't build spaceships for a living, I farm.
The questions being raised about the problem of space debris. Plus, with wildfire season already raging, some First Nations communities are leaning into old wisdom to fight the flames.
This is just the final turn on protecting the reserve and helping nature out like we used to back in the day.
On the front lines of a prescribed burn. And remembering a Canadian literary icon. Why Alice Munro meant so much to women and women writers. The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next. Well, there's a striking image. King Charles has unveiled his first official portrait since his coronation. And in it, the king wears a military uniform with a butterfly, if you can see it, just above his shoulder. There's been mixed reaction to the art online, as there is to everything online. A Saskatchewan farmer made a surprising discovery from out of this world, discarded parts of a rocket otherwise known as space junk. As Jason Warwick explains, while the space race heats up, responsibility for the cleanup gets a little murky.
Not a space junkie or anything like that. This is just what we found in our field, so.
As a farmer in rural Saskatchewan, Barry Sawchuk is used to removing rocks and weeds from his fields, but he recently discovered this 2-meter wide, 40-kilogram heap of twisted, burnt metal.
My oldest son and I were out driving around just checking fields, see where we could start seeding, and we came across the largest object laying out in the field. Originally we just thought it was garbage.
But the 16 layers of metal and webbing made him suspect.
We know this is the inside because on the outside it's got it's sort of, whether this is insulation, I have no idea. Don't build spaceships for a living, I farm.
An astronomy professor traced it to a re-entry of a rocket from private company SpaceX back in February. While rare, she notes more large chunks of metal from space have been found recently in Australia and Washington state. This space debris smashed through the roof of a Florida home. NASA determined it came from the International Space Station.
It's really just luck that it did not hit, right? Like if that had hit in the middle of Regina or New York City, like you said, it very easily could have killed someone.
Samantha Lawler says launches and re-entries of spacecraft are now a daily occurrence, so that risk is increasing rapidly and better regulations are urgently needed. Sawchuk reached out to SpaceX, but no one answered his call.
I think if I can, I'm going to sell it.
Sawchuk says he plans to donate some of the money to rebuild his local hockey rink. Jason Warwick, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. Reflections on Alice Munro and her incredible legacy from one of the countless female authors she helped to inspire. But first, Indigenous wisdom put into action.
So let's help each other out here. Let's get this done here.
Cultural burns like this one, once forbidden, are now in growing demand.
Helping nature out like we used to back in the day.
This ancient knowledge protecting homes and restoring pride.
I like this, like how we're doing it on the res so we can learn from it.
Brady Strachan got rare access to the front line of that burn, a safeguard that many say needs to be used more widely.
This is just the final turn on protecting the reserve, helping nature out like we used to back in the day.
Indigenous communities are in a race to protect themselves. They're bringing back a tradition that was banned for decades.
We have to learn from our mistakes. Now we have to correct them.
We got ticket board pack. I'm gonna need some more burners here, you guys.
We've been invited to the Bridge River Indian Band, or Hoiston, about 300 kilometers north of Vancouver, where a big plan is unfolding. A diverse team of band members and provincial firefighters is gathering for something unusual. They're not going to stop a fire, they're going to start one with what's called a cultural burn or prescribed burn.
Safety is the #1 thing for today.
The threat of wildfire is always here and growing. Just last year, the community had to evacuate.
So let's help each other out here. Let's get this done here so we can go to another community and keep doing this all around Lillooet so that when fire does come around, we don't have to worry about this kind of stuff anymore. Because frankly, last year I got kicked out of this place twice.
Raymond James is leading this crew that will help keep the fire in check. It's not the first time they've done this, but today's burn will be the biggest and most complex.
How are you feeling about today?
Today's, not gonna lie, it's nervous. Yeah. So, big time thing here. Usually just doing a lot of small burns, nothing to this big content here. So this is just the final turn on protecting the reserve and helping nature out like we used to back in the day.
All right, David, here we go.
Today's conditions are perfect for a burn. The right temperature, winds, and humidity. The team will carefully manage fire on 151 hectares around the community, lighting it on the ground and from the air.
It's looking good in some places, and yeah, we're up to the road there, so we're going to continue on, heading to the south.
See the smoke popping up? It's faintly, that's a good sign.
Colleen Ross is a veteran wildland fire ecologist hired by Hoiston to help plan this early spring burn. They're using flames to clear the land of tinder, fuel for wildfires.
How's it going so far in the day, now that we're going?
Yeah, it looks really good. You can tell by the smoke. It's getting up and over the mountains, and it'll drift off to where the communities aren't.
Getting to this point was no small feat, a complicated process of preparation and collaboration with many partners, including fire departments and the BC government.
We started planning this time last year, actually.
So it's a year of planning to get to the stage where we're lighting
That's
the fire.
right. This is the hard stuff. We're ripping off the Band-Aid. We're like just taking off a huge chunk while we can and while we have the people. It burned really nice in here. Holy cow.
Midway through the burn, we're taken to see a swath of forest the fire has already blackened. Burn boss Bradley Jack is our guide. Hoiston has tried to do a burn here before, but that plan had to be aborted because the conditions weren't right.
It's been 5 years now since that burn plan, and it's been on the back burner.
There's a lot of coordination to pull this off.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of coordination. It takes time. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 years to get a burn plan together. and then all the science and stuff like that.
This is more than just wildfire prevention. It's a reconnection with a cultural practice and expertise that was forbidden.
As settlers moved out west in the 1800s, British Columbia became the first province to ban this kind of cultural burning, and the knowledge was lost to First Nation communities. But in recent years, Bridge River Indian Band has brought it back, and now other communities are starting it too.
One of the things I learned from fire is it can be your friend and it can be your enemy.
At the nearby Ashcroft Indian Band, another community is learning to change its relationship with fire. Colleen Ross is here to help them on their journey. It's not an easy thing to do. 7 years ago, an out-of-control fire devastated the First Nation, scorching the landscape, burning homes, and leaving the community fearful and scarred.
Hey, I want one of those for my garden.
Those memories are still fresh for Sharp Hittman and her family. So, any fire here is scary, even a prescribed burn.
A fire can get out of control. But having said that, with all the people that are here today to control the fire, I guess I can live with it. Yeah, I'll be okay.
Climate change is becoming a bigger part of life here, where summer temperatures are often the hottest in Canada. Pittman says the community needs to evolve.
When you have catastrophes that happen, everybody learns something from it. And I think that's the big take, is we have to learn from our mistakes. Now we have to correct them. And this is a way of correcting it.
So who has never dug garden before? Yeah, okay, awesome.
This community is starting fresh on prescribed burning. Today, they're learning the basics, like how to dig a fire guard, stripping down the land to the soil to stop fire from spreading.
When we're handling drip torches, big thing is wearing sleeves down, obviously, leather gloves on.
Even starting a burn using these drip torches is new to everyone here, including local volunteer firefighters and 3 teens from the community. 19-year-old Darius Kirkpatrick is keen to protect his band's future.
I like this, like how we're doing it on the land, so we can learn from it and live longer without having that problem or having that worry. And I'm really happy to have like all of these new kids get into it. Yeah, it makes me feel proud.
Today's session is just a practice run, but a big step towards a larger goal. The band is planning a significant burn next year, and experts say other communities across Canada need to follow their example. This year, there are 61 prescribed or cultural burns planned in BC, which would treat 47 square kilometers of forest. To put that in context, look south to the U.S. state of New Jersey. It's more than 40 times smaller than BC, but last year the state treated 5 times as much land with prescribed burns.
So this is an area that had been mechanically thinned about 10 years ago, approximately.
Matthew Bourbonnais once fought fires for a living. Now an assistant professor at UBC's Kelowna campus, he studies how we can better prepare for them. He's taking us into this forest, not far from where a catastrophic fire destroyed close to 200 homes last August. He says prescribed burning could help stop it from happening again.
It's not something that we might do, it's something that we have to do. And we just haven't quite got there.
And you say we have to do it. Why do we have to do it?
So it's almost like, I don't want to say we're accepting the worst case scenario, but if we aren't moving more towards that proactive mitigation, we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and we're going to get the same outcomes.
We're kind of setting ourselves up for potential for disaster.
Yeah, pretty much. Fire suppression will always be a part of it. We're always going to need to respond to some fires. But if we can create landscapes that are more resilient to fire, then maybe the impacts of a lot of those fires aren't going to be the same.
Back in Hoyston, the flames are now right behind homes, but under the careful control of the team. The burn is clear. clearing the forest floor of so much fire fuel. And it's still intense. As we walked into the woods to get these images, we got a little too close.
Awesome. Right on. Thanks a bunch there, bro.
But Raymond James is pleased with the progress his crews have made.
At the end of the day, you've burned off all of this fire fuel really close to these people's homes.
Yes. So with that being said, it's better to do it now than have the summer weather, us out here at 50 degrees and trying to fight this fire when the flames are 4 times as high and the trees are all getting scorched. Better to do it now while we have control.
As evening approaches, fire has burned the land right around the community. Their homes now, hopefully, safer this summer, with plans to share what they've learned.
We want to start doing this for other communities as well. It's very important because, as you see, the fire's coming a lot sooner. Times have changed and the weather has too.
The government nearly ended this traditional use of fire, but it's slowly returning at a time when it's more important than ever.
So Brady, I can see you're in beautiful Kelowna there. You're pretty far from the fires that are currently raging, right, in northeastern BC. But I would presume the people in Kelowna are very nervous about the summer for them.
Yeah, you've got that right. Much like the north, the Okanagan here is experiencing drought that's been going on for the last couple of years. And the snowpack over the winter was the lowest on record. That means a very dry spring, and it doesn't bode well at all for the upcoming fire season.
And people in Kelowna really know fire.
Yeah, just over the lake here in West Kelowna, we had the most devastating fires in this area's history. We lost close to 200 homes last year. So I spoke to Fire Chief Jason Brolin from West Kelowna recently. You might remember him from all the media interviews he did. He was talking about the kind of prescribed burning that we just showed you. He says we need to be doing that more than ever to protect communities. Adrian?
All right, Brady Strachan, I feel like we'll be talking again. Coming up, remembering a literary giant and a master of the short story. Alice Munro inspired many people, but especially women authors. We'll break down her lasting impact next. The loss of Alice Munro, Canada's literary Nobel laureate, may be especially profound for the girls and women who saw themselves in her stories. She also showed female authors that a humble Canadian could command the world's respect with a voice that spoke to women. One of those is award-winning and remarkable Canadian author Heather O'Neill. So Heather, thank you for being here. I'm curious, what went through your mind the moment that you heard Alice Munro had died?
It was surprising for me. You know, I had, of course, been knowing that she couldn't be with us forever, but then part of me thought perhaps she was immortal in some ways. And then when I did hear she passed, and it really made me think about how she is with us, and she is just always going to be part of the Canadian identity, and she, in a lot of ways, will never pass.
On social media today, you said that every time you read Alice Munro, it's like a new experience and it changes you. How so?
Oh, it's remarkable. You know, last month I was really sick and I had to cancel a trip to Paris, and I just decided I had been wanting to reread Alice Munro because there were some stories that I hadn't read in 30 years, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing any. And just the experience of going back and the stories that registered, because when I was a young girl of 19 or 20, when I first discovered her work, it was the stories of women of that age who were escaping from men and families that were kind of trying to keep them at home that really resonated with me. And then this time, the middle-aged women, I realized there were these characters who were so ferocious and wild and just irreverent. Like, we don't realize sometimes just how wickedly clever and subversive Alice Munro is. And then when I was reading all her books and all the stories back to back, these women, I just realized they really put they put themselves first in a way that is so radical, because as young women and through our lives, we're taught to be caregivers, to be daughters, to be mothers, to be wives. But with Alice Munro, there is inside each of her strange little lonely female characters this existential idea that a woman's desire to be free and to live her life fully is the most important thing for her. And that's just, it moves me every time in different ways when I read it.
Was it when you were at McGill that you first became aware of Alice Munro?
It was. I was 19 years old and I took a class called Canadian Writing by Women. And it was a huge survey class in which there were 400 students. And the syllabus was maybe 20 or 25 books. And one of Alice Munro's books was there. And it was so funny because on the very last day of class, the professor came in and she said, it's remarkable because every single one of you, all 400, without a single exception, chose to write your final papers on Alice Munro. And it just, at that point, it showed to me the power that Alice Munro's writing has, that crystal clear resonance that just makes your heart get so excited with recognition. I thought it was something I was personally responding to because it always feels as though Alice Munro is whispering these secrets into your ears, and it's this intimate relationship. And I thought, oh, only I in this whole class have this relationship with Alice Munro. But no, all 400 students had fallen madly in love with this resonant, exciting, devilish voice.
I feel like so many people are going to discover her again right now, and I'm just wondering how you think we should be remembering her. You hear people say, great female writer, great Canadian writer. I mean, she's one of the greats, period. So how should we remember her, do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's, on the one hand, it's her, you know, I've been speaking about her themes of womanhood, but there's also just the absolute craft, what she was able to do. She changed the scope of the short story. Each of her short stories contain novels, the way she slows time, speeds it up. And I don't know any writer who has not looked at her craft and really studied it because, and she's just, I mean, that's why they gave her the Nobel Prize. She really changed what short stories could do. So I think she'll just be remembered primarily as one of the greatest short story writers of all time.
Amazing. Heather O'Neill, thanks so much.
Thank you.
CBC spoke with Alice Munro many times throughout her career. Coming up, a look back at some of those memorable moments.
Do you think this could find a response, say, in an American audience? Taking an Ontario
Don't you think
town.
Americans are ordinary?
Alice Munro, in her own words, up next. Alice Munro is being remembered tonight as a master of her craft. Born in Wingham, Ontario, many of her characters were set in small town communities, merging ordinary lives with extraordinary themes. So over the years, she spoke to CBC about her approach to writing and life, and tonight, some of those moments make our moment.
I would love to write a novel, a short novel. Everybody makes a story up, the movie of your life. The small town is like a stage for human lives.
Do you think this could find a response, say, in an American audience? Taking an Ontario
Don't you think
town.
Americans are ordinary?
The Nobel Prize in Literature for 2013 is awarded the Canadian author Alice Munro.
At what point did you say to yourself, I'm a writer?
I still have trouble saying that. I'm sure there are all kinds of explanations that have to do with being a woman and a woman of my generation. Reviewers said that in the last book there was a lot about, adultery, marriage breakup, sexual relationships, which is what I was interested in. My mother had grown up in a time and in a place where sex was a dark undertaking for women. She knew that you could die of it. So she honored the decency, the prudery, the frigidity that might protect you. And I grew up in horror of that very protection. In each decade, you see your life differently. And the story you would make of it is different because of what you know now about being that age.
Of course, people fell in love with her characters and stories, to be sure, but it was also her elegant style that made people fall in love. And she loved to talk about writing too, saying her ideal was to write something so clear as if looking through perfectly clean water so words don't get between the reader and what's happening. That she did, always, and we are all the better for it. For all of us here at The National, thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to The National's YouTube channel. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.